Good morning, everyone. I hope everyone is doing well. I am John Jay. If you are seeing me for the first time, I am a registered nurse of almost 20 years. I'm also a nurse educator, and I am passionate about healthcare education because you know how the saying goes, knowledge is key. So I'm not sure, where you are in the world, but we have been having some extremely hot weather. Right now, where I am, it's just, I think it's just a little bit past 8 o'clock in the morning, and it's already hot. I'm sitting outside in my backyard, and you can see, if you see closer, I am already sweating. So we have been having some extremely hot weather. And if you've been following the news, I know last week on CNN they were talking about how heat, there's a global heat warning. I think it was some part in Europe or some other parts of this world where they were showing that homes were catching on fire, or places was catching, just catching up in fires because of the extreme heat warning. And as you all know, if you are living in the United States, we still have a few, if not a few more months left of the summer weather. So today I decided to discuss a topic that relates to this extreme heat weather that we are having, this extreme heat wave. And this is to help you understand the difference between heat exhaustion and heat stroke, because there are some, and these two illnesses are illnesses that are directly related to heat. We have so many different illnesses, but these two specific ones are directly related to extreme heat. So I will help you understand the difference between heat exhaustion and heat stroke. So I was doing some research, and according to the American College of Emergency Physicians, which, American College of Emergency Physicians, they said each year about 400 deaths and thousands of emergency room visits are caused by heat illness. Can you believe that? So every year, 400 people die because of heat illness. And on top of that, there's 1,000 emergency room visits because of heat illness. So we'll be talking about heat stroke, the difference. I'm going to help you understand the difference between heat stroke and heat exhaustion, so you can know the symptoms of each of them and what to do. Okay, so there are some people that are at higher risks of being affected by heat stroke or heat exhaustion than others. And according to the studies, babies and people 65 years and older, which are our elderly people, our grandmoms, our grandfathers, some of our parents that are 65 years and older, and our young ones, the babies and the infants, they are our most risks for becoming affected by heat stroke or heat exhaustion. So they are the ones that we need to pay a little bit more attention to in this extreme heat weather that we are having. Now, nevertheless, anybody can be affected by heat stroke or can experience a heat stroke event or heat exhaustion, especially to those that tend to exercise a lot. You see them jogging or in a gym, or even if you are in a place like in a home where you don't have proper air conditioning, AC, fan, or you are in an extremely warm place, whether you are an infant or you are 65 years or older, you are still at risk for developing a heat stroke or heat exhaustion. But nevertheless, the most people that have the highest risk are babies and our folks that are 65 years and older. Okay, so now I want us to look at some of the early warning signs, because usually you will start from having heat exhaustion, and if you do not pay attention to the symptoms that you are having with a heat exhaustion, it can progress into a heat stroke. So if you are in a really warm environment, whether it's indoors or outdoors, or you fit into those categories of being high risk for experiencing a heat stroke or heat exhaustion, then you need to pay attention to these following symptoms. Okay, whenever you are having any symptoms of if you are having like nausea. Hold on one second. I believe. Okay, so the warning signs, like I said, of heat exhaustion are nausea. And like I said before in my previous video, nausea is just the medical terms of feeling like you want to vomit. So if you feel nauseous, if you are feeling lightheaded, if you feel fatigue is feeling extremely tired. So all of a sudden, if you are in this warm area or you are outdoors and it's extremely hot, 90 plus degrees, or you are exercising a lot and you start to feel like you want to vomit, you start feeling lightheaded, you start feeling extremely tired, you start feeling cramps in your muscles or dizziness, those are considered early warning signs. Okay, so those are early warning signs that you are having a heat exhaustion. So once you start experiencing those symptoms early, you want to take precaution. And the precaution is you want to move to a cool place. So if you are outdoor, you want to try to get inside where you can be under air conditioning, or you can get be on somewhere that the temperature is cooler. You can apply cold compresses, like get some ice pack and apply cold compresses on your head. Take a cold shower. Also, you want to, most importantly, keep yourself hydrated by drinking lots of fluid. Drink a lot of fluid. If you are wearing any tight clothing, make sure you try to remove some of those tight clothing from on you, and take any extra layers of clothing that you have, because the goal is to cool down. So again, if you are outdoors or if you are in your home, you are under an extreme heat weather and you start having nausea, you start feeling lightheaded, you start feeling extremely tired, muscle cramping, dizziness, the goal is to cool yourself down. Okay, because if you do not cool yourself down, those are called early warning symptoms. If you don't take the necessary precaution early, it progresses into you starting to have headache, you starting to get confused, and then normally when we are hot we tend to sweat, but when this progresses, you won't be sweating at all. So in addition to those early symptoms that I list, you will start having headaches, you will start getting confused, you won't be sweating at all, then your heart will be beating really fast, which is called rapid heart rate. And then on top of the nauseous feeling, you will start vomiting, and then worst case, you can lose consciousness. Okay, when those early symptoms progresses into those symptoms that I just listed, know that you are experiencing a heat stroke. So if it's not you, if you are near a family member, a loved one, a baby, a friend, or neighbor, or just around anyone, and you see them progress from those symptoms, nausea, lightheaded, dizziness, and then you see them progressing into where they're getting confused, and then and you don't see them sweating at all, and there's an extreme heat warning, or they're in a hot place, take the necessary precaution. Know that they are having a heat stroke. And heat stroke, just like any other stroke event, heat stroke is a medical emergency. So first of all, don't even try to figure out if it's heat exhaustion or heat stroke. If you see anyone having those symptoms, just stay on the side of cautious and call 911, because you want to act fast. Those symptoms can progress really fast, especially if you are dealing with a young child, an infant, baby, or you're dealing with the elderly people, 65 years or older. It can progress fast. So you may not have time to try to figure out if it's heat exhaustion or if it's heat stroke. If you're near your loved one and there's an extreme heat warning, whether it's in the house, whether it's at the mall, whether it's at the gym, whether it's outdoors, sitting outside, and you notice someone having any of those symptoms, don't try to figure out if it's a heat stroke, it's a heat exhaustion. Just act fast by calling 911. In the interim, as you are waiting for 911 services to arrive, try to cool that person down by moving them to a cooler place. Apply cold compresses on the head, and when it progresses to heat stroke, one of the advice they are giving is do not give them anything to drink. Don't give them anything to drink. And I think the reason being is because as heat exhaustion progresses into heat stroke, you remember one of the signs of heat stroke is loss of consciousness. So this is just my perspective on it. If you give them something to drink and they are closer to where they're going to lose consciousness, they stand a chance of possibly choking on that fluid, because they will be, getting weaker and weaker and may not be able to swallow or have the energy to swallow. So if it's progressing into that heat stroke, do not give them anything to drink. If heat exhaustion and heat stroke are not taken care of early, it can lead to death. So this is why this is so important. Okay, so again, do not try to figure it out if you are under extreme heat weather, whether you are indoors, whether you are at the gym, whether it's outside, especially as we are still in the summer months where they are, we still are expecting more higher temperatures. You want to be paying attention to your babies, the young kids, and people that are 65 years and over. If you or someone you know is hot, not sweating, and becomes confused and passes out, call 911. It is a medical emergency. I'm going to repeat that statement. If you or someone you know, or you are around anybody, even if you don't know them or not, on these extreme heat temperatures, if you are near someone and you see them getting extremely hot, they are not sweating, they become confused, and they pass out or lose consciousness, do not delay. Call 911 immediately. It is a medical emergency. Thank you all so much for your time. I hope this was helpful and look forward to coming back. Please feel free to leave any suggestions of topics in the comment, and also share this video, because this can affect anyone at any part of the world. Remember, heat is all around the world, whether you are in Africa, you are in Europe, you are in America, no matter which part of the world you are. Pay attention to these signs of heat exhaustion and heat stroke. They are a medical emergency. Act fast to save the life of someone. Thank you so much. Bye, and have a wonderful, blessed day until we meet again.